Hello everyone, my name is Mariam Marafa. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my work on effect of perceived discrimination and food insecurity and depression and anxiety among the All of Us research program participants. It is going to be a poster presentation, but I will go through each and every part of this presentation in each slide. So first of all, in United States, 36% of United States adults reported a symptom of depression or anxiety in 2019, and also globally, depression and anxiety has been shown to be among the leading contributors to global burden of disease, and it is associated with reduced quality of life. Interestingly, these conditions are not are disproportionately experienced across the population, and it is strongly influenced by social stressors. So the in our study, the social stressors that we are looking into is the perceived discrimination and food insecurity that has been studied and established to be a structural and social stressor that is actually linked to adverse mental health outcome. Several studies have examined this at large, but our study is going to be looking at it within the same conceptual framework, and we'll further look at the combined relationship, the combined effect on mental health. So, like I said, the objective of our study is to examine the independent and combined association of perceived discrimination and food insecurity with depression and anxiety among participants in the Holocaust Research Workbench. So the study design is a cross-sectional analysis, and key measures. The exposure is perceived discrimination and food insecurity. The outcome is depression and anxiety, and the covariates we'll be looking at is race, age, income, education, employment status, and gender. So a descriptive statistic was done to estimate the prevalence of depression among those who perceive discrimination, and also prevalence of anxiety among the same people who reported perceiving discrimination. And the Pearson Child Score was used to assess the unadjusted association. We also went ahead and did multivariable logistic regression model, multivariable logistic regression to estimate adjusted odds, and a predicted probability plot was done to visualize the results. So the first result I'm going to be talking about here today is the result we got from the descriptive statistic of prevalence of depression and anxiety by perceived discrimination. So from this result, we could see that depression and anxiety definitely increased with presence of discrimination. So, for example, in anxiety, we had 11.8% among those who perceive discrimination, and then we have 7.6% among those who do not. And likewise for depression, there's 9.8% among those who reported perceiving discrimination, and 6.4% among those who do not perceive discrimination. And this was done under a p-value of 0.00. This is significant under the p-value of 0.001. So the second result I'll be discussing is the adjusted predicted probability. That is where we look at the adjusted prediction of depression and anxiety by discrimination and by food insecurity. And from the results, we could see that, yes, discrimination, like on the right side, we could see that discrimination does predict depression and does predict depression. And if we look at food insecurity too, we see that food insecurity predicts depression. Also for anxiety, we could also see a similar result for depression, but for anxiety, we could see that it's just a slight increase. Despite the fact that it's just a modest increase, there's still something that we realize from this result is that these social and structural stressors actually does predict depression, and anxiety. So in our further analysis, we're going to look at the combined effect of both of them to know how this affects anxiety and depression. So and this is going to, whatever we find out, what our result is going to help to inform some targeted policies aimed at actually improving material hardship. These are my references, and like I said, this is my game code, and hope to see you at the conference. Thank you.